Music is often regarded as a universal language capable of expressing a vast spectrum of human emotions and ideas without uttering a single word. However, like any language, music relies on a system of signs, symbols, and expressive elements to convey meaning. The foundation of musical communication lies in understanding these essential elements, which collectively form the vocabulary of music. This first module serves as a comprehensive introduction to the language of music with a particular focus on the three fundamental expressive elements: dynamics, tempo, and timbre. We will explore how these elements contribute to musical expression, how they are notated and understood, and why they matter in shaping a listener's experience. By immersing yourself in this foundational module, you will develop the critical listening and analytical skills required to dissect and appreciate music beyond surface-level sound. This prepares you for deeper dives into each element in subsequent modules. By the end of this module, you will be able to 1. Articulate the role of dynamics, tempo, and timbre as key expressive elements in music. 2. Recognize and understand basic terminology and notation related to these elements. 3. Appreciate the historical and cultural variability of these musical parameters. 4. Begin developing critical listening skills to identify dynamics, tempo, and timbre in various musical examples. The nature of musical language. Unlike spoken languages that rely primarily on words and grammar, music communicates through sound, silence, and structure. The language of music consists of melody, harmony, rhythm, and expressive parameters. While melody and harmony provide pitch-based content and vertical sonorities, and rhythm organizes sound over time, the expressive parameters add nuance and personality, infusing music with emotional and dramatic impact. 3 of the most significant expressive parameters are: period, dynamics, indicating loudness or softness, they guide emotional intensity and contrast. Tempo, the speed at which music unfolds, it governs energy, mood, and pacing. Timbre, the distinct quality or color of a sound that allows us to differentiate instruments and voices. Together, these parameters are akin to the intonation, stress, and tone of voice in spoken language, essential for conveying subtleties beyond the literal notes. Why dynamics, tempo, and timbre? While pitch and rhythm are often emphasized in music theory, dynamics, tempo, and timbre are critical for the expressive power of music. They help performers shape phrases, convey emotion, and create tension and release. Dynamics create contrasts such as loud, soft, sudden, gradual changes, which evoke feelings ranging from intimacy to grandeur. Tempo manipulates the listener's sense of time, excitement, relaxation, or urgency. Timbre provides texture and individuality, making each sound source unique. Understanding these elements helps musicians interpret scores faithfully and creatively, and enables listeners to engage more deeply with music. Historical and cultural perspectives. The conceptualization and notation of dynamics, tempo, and timbre have evolved through centuries and vary across cultures. Early Western music, such as medieval and Renaissance compositions, often lacked explicit dynamic or tempo markings, relying on performers' discretion. The Baroque, Classical, and Romantic eras introduced more precise notations, reflecting changing aesthetic priorities. Meanwhile, non-Western musical traditions utilize dynamics, tempo, and timbre differently, often embedded within oral traditions and unique instruments. This course will explore these diverse perspectives in later modules, but it is vital to acknowledge at the outset that these expressive parameters are both universal and culture-specific. Notation and terminology. Learning the symbols and terms used to communicate dynamics, tempo, and timbre is foundational. Dynamics, Terms such as pianissimo, PP, mezzo forte, MF, fortissimo, FF, symbols like crescendo, less than, and decrescendo, greater than. Tempo. Italian words dominate, e.g., allegro, adagio, often accompanied by metronome markings, beats per minute. Timbre. Though harder to notate, composers use descriptive terms, e.g., dolce, su ponticello, and instrumentation choices to affect timbre. Familiarity with this vocabulary is critical to effective musical communication. The role of the performer and listener. While composers provide markings, the performer's interpretation breathes life into dynamics, tempo, and timbre. The performer decides how to realize these instructions, balancing fidelity to the score with personal expression. Listeners, in turn, decode these elements to derive meaning, emotional impact, and appreciation. Developing an informed ear enables one to recognize subtle expressive choices and understand their effect. Suggested listening activities. Listen to contrasting musical excerpts that demonstrate a wide dynamic range, e.g., Beethoven's Symphony No. 5, and identify how dynamics shape mood. Compare fast versus slow tempo pieces, for example, Vivaldi's Spring versus a Largo movement, and note emotional effects. Listen to different instruments playing the same melody to observe timbral differences.